What's up, guys? Welcome back to Batslayer MMA. I'm here with another UFC fight prediction video. Just to recap of my last fight prediction video, UFC 218, I predicted 4 out of 5 correctly, including a third round TKO win for Max Holloway in the main event. Fight number 1, you got the former interim welterweight champion Carlos Condit against Neil Magny. This is going to be an interesting bout. You know, Carlos Condit is coming off that loss to Damian Maia. This is going to be the first time we're going to see him in action in about 16 months. But keep in mind, you know, the last time Carlos Condit took an extended break was when he lost to Tyron Woodley, when he had that injury. He actually came back after a 15-month layoff, and he looked fantastic against Thiago Alves. Now, Neil Magny, on the other hand, looked like a world beater at one point. He was on a ridiculous win streak at 170. He had some, big wins over, Kelvin Gastelum, Hector Lombard. But we also seen him suffer some tough losses. So let's take a look at the stats right here. Neil Magny is slightly taller than Carlos Condit, but what is noticeable is that he has a 5-inch reach advantage over Carlos Condit. As far as significant strikes go, they land about the same significant strikes per minute. Neil Magny is the more accurate striker, and as far as defense goes, they're both pretty good defensively. Now, as far as takedowns go, Carlos Condit has a better takedown, just a slightly better takedown accuracy, but Neil Magny has a better takedown defense than Carlos Condit. Carlos Condit does average more submissions, but Neil Magny averages more takedowns in a fight. I will say that Carlos Condit is more overall fighter. He can take the fight anywhere. He's good on his feet. He's good on the stand-up. He's got great cardio. He's really a complete mixed martial artist. So my prediction for the fight, I think this is going to be a 3-round fight. I do see Carlos Condit winning a decision. I think primarily the fight is going to be on the feet. Carlos, I think, is a more versatile striker. If the fight does go to the ground, Carlos has some nice submission victories off his back. And Neil Magny, like I said, he did look like a world beater when he was beating guys like Kelvin Gastelum, but he also, again, had some tough losses against tough competition. And I think, unfortunately, in this one, having lost 2 out of the last 3, he's going to lose another one to Carlos Condit. I'm going to say 2 rounds to 1 for Carlos Condit. Fight number 2, you got the number 6 ranked strawweight Cynthia Calvillo versus number 9 strawweight, the former strawweight champion, really the forgotten strawweight champion, Carla Esparza. And really, this is a fight where Cynthia is on the surge. She's on the rise. It seems like the UFC is really trying to build her up as the next big star in the strawweight division. So far, she's had 3 fights in the UFC. All 3 of them are in the main card. This one is no different, also a main card fight. And really, to me, it seems like the UFC, Dana White, has said some nice things about her. So they're really trying to push her as the next big star in the strawweight division. But she's got a tough challenge ahead of her. Former champion Carla Esparza, who has a win actually over the current champion Rose Namajunas, but really she's the forgotten champion because as soon as she won the belt, she lost to Joanna. And since she lost to Joanna, she's only had 3 fights in the last 2 years, so she really hasn't been too active. So this is definitely a tough match for Cynthia. I think if she can get past Carla, then I think talks of title shots are definitely going to come for her. But Carla is a strong grappler. She's a strong wrestler. Take a look at the stats. Cynthia is taller, and she also has a slight reach advantage as well. As far as significant strikes, she does land more significant strikes than Carla Esparza. She also is a better defensive fighter than Carla Esparza. Carla, again, she wrestled for 4 years in college. She's primarily a wrestler. She takes her fight to the ground. She beats him up there. She tries to go for submissions. I don't think it's going to be any different in this fight. She'll try to take Cynthia down and beat her up on the ground, try to look for a submission. Cynthia defends about 50% of her takedowns, but Cynthia's got good scrambles, good jiu-jitsu. She has a pair of nice submission victories in her UFC career, and she's definitely going to be looking for the submission holds. But I'm definitely going to go with Carla Esparza. I think she's being underestimated in this fight. She's got a strong grappling, and I think she's definitely going to be able to take Cynthia down and just do what she does best. So I'm going to go 2 rounds to 1 for Carla Esparza. The next fight, you got Jimmie Rivera versus John Lineker. This is going to be a barn burner. This is going to be a great fight. Jimmie Rivera hasn't lost since 2009. He is literally on like a 25 win streak right now. This guy's ridiculous. His last 2 wins against Thomas Almeida and Uriah Faber have been super dominant. He's really looking like a world beater in this division. John Lineker, on the other hand, suffered a tough loss to TJ Dillashaw, but he actually bounced right back against Marlon Vera. So again, they're two guys that are both trying to get that title shot at that bantamweight division. And I think if Jimmie Rivera actually wins this fight, I think he's absolutely going to get that next title shot. They're both about the same height, same reach. As far as significant strikes goes, John Lineker does land more significant strikes than Jimmie Rivera. Take a look at the takedowns defended. Jimmie Rivera has defended 100% of takedowns. That is impressive. This is a hard fight to pick because they're both talented guys. They're both closing in that title shot. But I'm going to have to go with Jimmie Rivera. You know, he's been on an absolute tear. Like I said, his last couple of wins have been extremely dominant, and I think really he is going to be that next guy to challenge for that bantamweight title shot. So I got Jimmie Rivera by unanimous decision, 30-27 for Jimmie Rivera. The co-main event, we're going to see the return of Khabib Nurmagomedov, currently ranked at number 2, and you got the number 4, Edson Barboza. And this is going to be a fantastic fight. Edson Barboza is slightly taller, but he has a significant reach advantage. Edson's strength lies on his stand-up. He's got a powerful switch kick, his spinning back kick, leg kicks. He's probably one of the fastest kickers on the roster. I mean, he's stopping guys with leg kicks. You know, that is extremely difficult, and that tells you what kind of a kicker he is, how much power and speed he possesses in his kicks. Obviously, Khabib Nurmagomedov is known for his non-stop pressure. I mean, he is known for his wrestling, his ground and pound. You know, once he gets you on the ground, it's over for you. So I think this is stylistically, you got a strong striker versus a strong grappler. You know, can Edson Barboza catch him on the feet? Can he time the takedown and knock him out like he did against Beneil Dariush? Or will Khabib, you know, take Edson down and beat him up on the ground like he did against Michael Johnson and everybody else? Now take a look at the stats right here. They both land about the same number of significant strikes per minute. You know, Khabib is also the more accurate striker, and he also has a better defense as well. As far as grappling goes, take a look at the takedown average. I mean, he's averaging 6 takedowns versus, you know, not even 1 for Edson Barboza. But Edson has some pretty good takedown defense at 86%, so it's not going to be easy to take Edson down to the ground. If Khabib takes Edson down to the ground, I don't think Edson will have an answer for him. And also, well, you know, what kind of shape is Khabib going to come into this fight? Is he going to have another weight problem? Can he make the weight? If he does make the weight, how much of that is going to impact him during the fight? You know, a hard weight cut is definitely going to impact you the night of the fight. So hopefully Khabib comes in great shape, and hope he doesn't have any weight problems. But as far as how I see the fight going, I still think Khabib is the number 2 lightweight in the world right now, behind Tony Ferguson. Edson Barboza, on the other hand, has had some tough losses against tough opposition. You know, Tony Ferguson, Michael Johnson, Donald Cerrone. I think you have to go with Khabib on this one. I think he will eventually be able to take Edson down to the ground. If he does get him to the ground, I do see a finish. I'm going to say a late 2nd round finish or an early 3rd round finish for Khabib Nurmagomedov. Alright guys, the main event, Cris Cyborg versus Holm. I have a fight breakdown in the main event, so if you haven't seen it, please click the link in the description box and watch that. My pick for the main event is going to be Cris Cyborg. I said she's going to win in the late 4th round TKO, or she's going to win a decision, but I do have Cris Cyborg winning that fight.